Hi everyone, it's Rose. I wanted to make this video because I've received a lot of requests to do more videos and specifically more makeup tutorials. I've had a lot of people send me very specific questions on how to easily and subtly feminize the face. I had to put my hair in curlers because I tried it for the first time a week ago and I am so obsessed. So bear with me through the hairstyle. I had to choose trans pride flag colors because, you know, why not? I am so excited to show you all how I achieved this like quick and easy everyday look just to feminize my face in subtle ways, specifically geared for trans femme folks. So without any further ado, if you want to see how I created this look, just keep on watching. First things first, I'm gonna start with one of my new favorite products to use right before doing my makeup. This is Natural Skin Science's Original Glow Serum. This is a serum made with all natural ingredients and it's cruelty-free and vegan. I usually do like 2 or 3 drops. I think it says to use 1 drop, but you know, your girl's extra, so gotta use a couple. And I just press this into like the high points of my face. I especially like my forehead to look glowy because I feel like it just kind of hides my brow bone. Like the center of my brow bone ends up looking a little bit shadowed, and that's what kind of makes it look accentuated on the brow bone, is it looks really bright and like lighter here, and it looks darker in the middle. So when I'm really dewy and glowy right in the middle of my forehead, it just makes my forehead look more round and smooth. Push it onto my chest. I just really love the way that this hydrates my skin. I have used so many products that give my skin glow to like mix into my foundation or use right before foundation. Most of those have like a metal ingredient or like some sort of like pigment or like crushed powder that like gives like a luminosity. But I feel like this just gives like a natural, like dewy, wet glow, like from within. And I don't know what it is, but this just makes my skin feel softer than my skin has ever felt. And I'm not even sponsored. The owner is a friend of mine, and so they sent it to me, and I am so obsessed. So this isn't a sponsored post, but this is something that I didn't spend money on, but I am absolutely obsessed with. For brows, I'm gonna use MAC Cosmetics Brow Styler. This is one of my favorite pencils because it's retractable twist up. It's a really, really strong pencil so it doesn't break. And the color is just really versatile because depending on the amount of pressure, it can be really light or it can be really dark. The reason that I like a brow pencil is because it's a little bit softer looking, but you can still get like a full defined brow. So when I'm filling in my brows, literally no matter what product I do, I always outline the bottom first. So I always want the bottom of my brow just to be the strongest of any other part of the brow. After I've defined the bottom of the brow, I like to define the top, but I don't like to start from the beginning because I feel like it just looks too fake. So I always start like about in the middle of the beginning and my arch. So I'm gonna start about here on my brow, or like often if you just look straight ahead, it's basically where your pupil ends up being, like right in the middle there. So from the middle, just bring it out to the arch and down. The arch here is my favorite place to define, so I always like fill in the entire area throughout my brow and the arch. I feel like it's just super soft and feminine to have like a defined and like high arch. So sometimes I'll even like cheat my brow and like just overdraw it just at the highest point. Now I'm gonna use the brush on the opposite end of the pencil and just brush through my entire brows, blending upward. That way this color just mixes and melts into my natural brow. And as like a general tip, don't worry about being super precise around the edges because it's super easy to clean up after. After filling in my brows, I like to carve them out just to kind of clean up the shape. My favorite product to use for this is MAC Cosmetics Paint Pot. I'm using the color Soft Ochre. Soft Ochre is just like a nice pale neutral tone that I feel like brightens up my eye without adding any additional color. To use this product, I'm gonna use my 212 kind of straight edge brush from MAC Cosmetics. Now I'm gonna follow the natural line of my brow using the flat side of the brush. I feel like today I've done a pretty precise job at the top, so I don't feel like I really need to clean up with the concealer. And because I have a bit of a brow bone, I don't really love to go lighter right above my eyebrow. Instead, I like to almost kind of go darker there. Now I'm gonna use a little bit more of the paint pot just all over my eyelid. And now I'm just gonna blend this all over my eyelid with a sponge. The paint pot will also act as a primer to help my eyeshadow last longer and blend easier. Now I'm gonna put on my favorite go-to eyeshadow look that's just really quick and easy. I'm gonna start off with a neutral pinkish brown color. This is Soft Teddy from MAC Cosmetics, but honestly, any sort of brown or like just soft, a little bit darker than your natural skin tone color will work. I'm gonna use this in my natural crease. Darkening the crease will just give more definition to your eye and kind of make it look more open. If you have more of a hooded eye, I wouldn't go all the way into the inner corner of the crease. I would instead darken more of the outer corner, starting on the lash line, going the same distance out that your eyebrow ends. So think of that as a straight line from your lashes over to where your brow ends. And then bring that up using circles and kind of create a triangle. So we're creating one line from lashes over to where your brow ends, one line from your crease, which is that like middle fold, straight down to the middle of your eye, and then connect those. Creating this little triangle on the outer corner will just kind of pull and kind of lift the eye, and so it just gives the illusion of openness and just lifting the face, which is very feminizing. To help kind of control the blending of this color into your natural skin tone, I would layer more in the outer corner and closer to your lashes, and more in the crease lower down, and less as you go higher. So when you first place the color, I would do it right on the lashes and in the crease. That way those areas get more product, and slowly use circles to blend out to the outer edges. And notice I'm not putting my brush all the way up to my brow, I'm stopping just underneath it. Now that I have my matte color on, I'm gonna use the easiest product to just kind of brighten and give a little bit of color. Sometimes instead of doing like primer and like defining the crease, sometimes I'll just put a liquid shadow on and just blend it out real quick, just to give a little pop of color to the eyes, and then especially if I wanna focus more on face or lips, but not spend a lot of time. So now I'm gonna use House Laboratories liquid eyeshadow. Lady Gaga has given me a life throughout the years, given me confidence. Lady Gaga helped me come out the first time when I came out as attracted to men. She helped me come out as transgender 5 years later. And so I am so excited I'm so excited that she came out with makeup, because I am just living. And this liquid eyeshadow is pretty incredible. It comes with a little brush already, and I'm using the color, what is this color? I'm using the color Aphrodite because, you know, I'm a goddess and I fully believe in I fully believe in the power of myself and the autonomy that I have over my life. And so I consider myself the goddess of my own life. This is just a really powerful item that's so easy. You don't need a brush that has one on it, and all you need to do is just swipe it onto your eye. So today I'm being kind of a little bit more precise on the placement. I'm just putting it all over my eyelid, and I'm literally just using the wand to guide how high I'm going. So I'm just placing it flat up on my lashes and into my crease, and I'm just going from 2/3 over to the outer corner and all the way into the inner corner, and I'm done. Like, it's so easy. Like, the placement, like the size of this brush is so perfect for most eye shapes, but I just set it on vertically, swipe in, swipe out, and I'm done. I'm also gonna use this color to highlight, so I'm gonna do a dab in the inner corners of my eye, and I'm gonna do a dab right below my eyebrow in the highest point of the arch. I'm gonna use a brush to blend it out using small circular motions. Sometimes, even if I'm wearing no eyeshadow at all, I'll just pop a little bit of highlighter or like a bright eyeshadow in the inner corner of my eye, because it brightens up the eye, it makes it look a little bit bigger, it makes me look more awake, and it's the easiest thing to do without doing anything else on the eyes. Now let's jump into skin. I have had a lot of electrolysis and laser done to get rid of my facial hair, but I still have a little bit of stubble, the majority of it being on my chin. So one of my favorite things to use is MAC Cosmetics Pore Refine Stick. This is basically silicone in a stick, and it's meant to smooth out texture. So sometimes I'll use it on my nose if I feel like my pores are enlarged or if I have like a lot of blackheads. This kind of helps prevent my stubble from poking through my makeup later on in the day. I'll also say this product is very mattifying and oil controlling, so I wouldn't use this in areas that are super dry, or I would highly recommend moisturizing before using this if you are dry. Now I'm gonna use my favorite foundation. I've been using this for years now. This is MAC Cosmetics Studio Sculpt. This foundation is a gel-based formula, so it's very hydrating, it's very, very smooth, and it's pretty natural looking. I usually use just a little bit more than a pearl. I love this formula because it's buildable, medium to full coverage, and it's whipped with a lot of air, so it just looks incredibly smooth. And it's not quick to dry or set, so I have a long time to kind of work with it and blend it in. I feel like a lot of makeup influencers kind of portray this idea that the more foundation the better and the more coverage the better. But I feel like, honestly, you should use the least amount of coverage that you still feel comfortable in. So I'll kind of use more coverage where I feel like I need it, and I'll just kind of do like a really light base all over, and then I'll do like more like spot concealing. Usually I have extra foundation left over on my hand, so I'll just kind of pick that up and put it like where I need it, like around where my facial hair grows in, or on my cheeks to cover up scarring. A lot of people tell me that contouring is really overwhelming and kind of intimidating, and I fully understand that. An easy way to kind of trick the eye into thinking that your face has more dimension and is more defined and feminine is to simply use a shade or two paler in concealer. So I'm using Pro Longwear Concealer from MAC Cosmetics. This has been my favorite concealer for a really long time because it has full coverage, but again, it's not gonna dry my skin out. It's the formula that feels most comfortable on my skin and I know isn't gonna crease under my eyes. So I'm using 2 shades lighter in concealer than I am in foundation. And I'm just putting this under my eyes and down the center of my face. So using a paler formula of concealer kind of highlights the face, which is kind of the opposite of contouring. That way you can kind of just define like the highest points and start feminizing the face in a subtle way. I like to bring concealer all around my mouth because it helps further ensure that none of my facial hair pokes through. I also love doing a little bit of concealer in the center of my forehead. Again, this is kind of to counteract like the darkness that my brow bone brings to the center of my forehead. So I bring it up from the bridge of my nose and then I just kind of go in a circle. Now I'm gonna use MAC's Mineralize Skinfinish powder. I love this powder because it's incredibly smooth as far as texture goes. It's very natural, so it's not very cakey or heavy, and it's not gonna dry my skin out. But it's still gonna take away some shine from the foundation and help it stay in place. Now I'm going to contour my face in a really easy way. Rather than doing all of the creams and like drawing lines and getting all these crazy products, I like to just use a powder instead because it's quick and easy and I feel like it's just as effective. So I'm using a blush from MAC Cosmetics called Harmony. This is just a really cool taupe undertone blush. This color kind of mimics like the natural shadows in someone's face. So instead of like turning my skin tone orange or like darker, this just kind of gives like a natural shadow look. So I'm gonna pick some up in a circle, and I like a really small brush to kind of have more precision in where I'm placing this. So on the cheekbone, I like to think of it as like a straight line from where my hairline ends. So if I lift up my hairline kind of ends right here. Usually it kind of ends right where the tragus is, which is this flap in the middle of the ear. And so I'll start the color right there. That's where I want it to be darkest. And then I'll think of that as a straight line toward the corner of my mouth. Drag queens will go all the way to the mouth. I'm not going to because that's just a little too much for me. So instead I'm gonna use circles to bring it forward right under the apple of my cheek where it's most round. Or if you have dimples, I would bring it right above where your dimple is. And then I'll blend it upward with circles. I used to have a lot of forehead dysphoria, and I still don't think I have the most feminine forehead, especially when my hair is all like up and back, because I have a bit of a receding hairline here that's kind of squared off. So I like to put some of this color into the edges of my hairline and like right on my temple. This just makes my forehead look more round and a little bit smaller. This side just looks a little bit larger and a little bit more squared and masculine. So I want to connect that darkness to the edges of my hairline just to make it more feminine. Again, with like circular motions to blend. And now the edges of my forehead are darker than any sort of shadow that my brow bone will make, even with low lighting. So that way this darkness here will kind of draw less attention toward my brow bone. I'm just kind of creating an illusion that it's not there. Sometimes if I'm feeling really extra, I'll do a little bit on my chin. I'm just kind of like right under my chin on the sides and bring it kind of toward my jaw. It just kind of slims the face and gives a more pointed chin, which is just very feminine. I only like to do this like right at the chin because there's a natural shadow under my chin from my neck. So that way there's not an obvious line of like having a darker color. I don't like to bring my contour down to my ear because then there's an obvious line on my jawline, making my face look way darker than my neck. I also like bringing this down the edges of my nose. I'll just use the same brush and I'll start right below my eyebrow and I'll just bring it straight down. Same thing on the other side, just start where my brow is and just push it straight down. And then never forget the tip of the nose. I feel like this side is just a little bit dark on the cheek, so I'm gonna use my powder brush and just blend right over top with circles. If you have enough powder left over on your brush, this is really easy to do. So, you know, don't have a clean brush and this works. I used to be really intimidated by blush and I was terrified to like look like a clown or go too crazy. But lately I have been absolutely in love with blush. I feel like it's very soft and very feminine, and what I've learned is blush is like the first thing to fade away on my face. So when I go extra and I feel like I'm looking a little bit toward a clown on my cheeks, halfway throughout the day, most of it is gone and blended, and then it looks totally normal. So that's something that I had to get used to, but something I'm obsessed with now. I'm gonna use MAC Cosmetics Sweets for My Sweets blush. This is a highlighted blush, so it has a little bit of a glow to it. My face is a little bit more rectangular. I've made it look a little bit more ovular with my contouring, but to further feminize my face shape, in most masculine shapes, we have like kind of wider jaws and like taller, wider foreheads. And so to kind of counteract that focus, it looks more feminine when we do like more circular motions right in the middle of the cheek. And it's okay to kind of blend it forward, especially since I've contoured, but if I'm only wearing blush, I feel like it's the most feminine to just do kind of circular areas right in the apples. Highlighter is one of my obsessions and one of the biggest makeup trends right now. I love using a small detailed brush. I just love putting it on the tops of my cheekbones and kind of right under the contour in my temple. That kind of further accentuates my contour, makes my cheekbone look taller and more defined, and then it just makes my skin look nice and healthy and glowy. This is Double Gleam from MAC. It's just like a kind of beige that breaks silver, kind of like a champagne tone. I like a touch on my Cupid's bow, but I don't like to go too crazy because I feel like it can look really sweaty. And then I love to subtly highlight my forehead. I don't go right above my brow, I kind of skip a space. That way my brow bone, again, doesn't look more prominent, instead it looks more hidden. And then I always do like the center of my forehead, again, for that same reason. And sometimes I'll go back in with my powder, just kind of right in between my brows, just to kind of take away some shine so the brow bone doesn't look more prominent. And I'm gonna pick up some highlighter and go straight down the middle of my nose. I'm pretty dry and I don't get really oily, so I honestly don't mind if I end up looking a little bit oily. I kind of just love that. Now that my face is on, I want to finish my eyes, so I'm going to go in with MAC Cosmetics Beguile Brow Gel. This is being discontinued, unfortunately, but it's one of my favorite colors because it's just this golden taupe color that just gives a little bit more kind of contrast and definition into my brow. That way it doesn't look so flat and one-dimensional. For mascara today, I'm gonna use Babe Lash Enriching Mascara. I wanted to talk about Babe Lash real quick because they were kind enough to send me some products and I am absolutely obsessed. I've been using Babe Lash's eyelash essential serum since October, and my eyelashes have completely changed. My lashes are significantly fuller and longer, and I feel like I don't notice a ton when I'm not wearing makeup, but the second I put on mascara, I immediately notice my lashes are way longer and I haven't been wearing false lashes nearly as much. Babe Lash's mascara is also pretty incredible because it's really dark black, and if you just kind of like tap it into your lashes, it can look really soft and defined. Or what I've found is if I use kind of like the longer edge of the bristle and wiggle it into the roots, I can get a lot more definition and volume. And honestly, no matter what mascara I'm using, I'm gonna end up using multiple coats of mascara. But I feel like this one just layers really nicely without getting clumpy and really ugly or heavy. Now I'm gonna grab that blending brush that I used for my matte eyeshadow in my crease. I'm not gonna pick any more product though. I'm just gonna brush it right underneath the bottom of my eye, just to kind of smoke it out and give a little bit of color. This I feel like is gonna really open up my eyes, and another kind of benefit of doing shadow under your eye is it contrasts with your concealer, so it makes my under eye appear brighter. A lot of people are scared to go too dark with eyeshadow under their eyes, but so long as you're not going further than the distance of your eyelashes, it's gonna make your eyes actually look a little bit more open. And I would definitely be hesitant to go too dark if you're not comfortable with blending, just because you don't want to close off and make your eyes look smaller. And again, if you have more of a hooded eye, I would definitely go darker on the outer corner than I would on the inner. Now it's time for lippies, and I feel like lippies are the easiest part of makeup. They can really draw emphasis and focus toward them to kind of distract from every other feature on the face. And I feel like lips are the easiest thing to get used to, switch up, and like dive right into. Before putting on any lip products, I always put on MAC Cosmetics Prep and Prime Lip Base. This primer really helps moisturize my lips, and then it also helps my lipstick last so much longer. I had to use it to believe it, but I won't wear lipstick at all without putting this on first. When I'm not going as dramatic with my makeup, I love to do a little bit bolder of a lip, especially because it just draws a lot of focus toward my lips and away from anything else that I kind of don't feel as secure about that day. So any day that I'm feeling more insecure or more dysphoric, I'll just put on a bolder, brighter lip just to kind of draw attention to my lips and just kind of, just draw attention away from whatever I'm feeling bad about. Lip liner is another product that I pretty much always use anytime I'm doing lips because it'll help my lips look more defined and look fuller, just to kind of further draw more emphasis away from other places. And so I like to kind of glide my liner kind of along the edge of my lips using the side rather than the end. Using kind of on the edge of the lip liner, I feel like I don't get as much precision and it's not as easy to apply. When doing a darker color of liner, I usually like to kind of just fill in the outer corners of my lips and then leave just kind of the very middle of my lip blank. That way it'll just kind of give a little ombre and the illusion of fullness. At the Cupid's bow, I always draw an X just to define it. The Cupid's bow is my favorite part of the lips, so I like it to look very strong and kind of defined. This lip liner is Plum from MAC Cosmetics. For lipstick today, I'm gonna use MAC Cosmetics Viva Glam No. 2. I love this lipstick because it's the perfect nude for almost any skin type. It's very cool tone, kind of bluer undertone, kind of a taupey pink. And the best part about this lipstick is every penny goes to help fight HIV and AIDS, or it goes to help the LGBTQ community or women and children at need or at risk in the world. And so this lipstick goes toward a good cause, and it's an amazing color. To finish off the look, I'm gonna put on House Laboratories by Lady Gaga's Les Riot Lip Gloss in Venus. I love this color because it's a great nude and the wand is kind of curved like a spoon. So then that way it just holds like the perfect amount of lip gloss right in the middle. I'm really impressed with this formula of gloss because it's not too sticky, but it does have a decent staying power for a gloss. And it's incredibly comfortable, and one of my favorite things to do just to further emphasize my lips, further make them look larger, is to throw on a little bit of gloss because that sheen will keep them moisturized, it'll make them look fuller and plump, and I just love it. To set this look down, just to help everything kind of blend, and if I went too crazy with my powder or too crazy with my foundation, this will just kind of help melt it into my skin, so that way it looks more natural and that way it lasts a lot longer. I'm gonna use MAC Cosmetics Fix Plus. Fix Plus is a skincare product first and foremost, so this is gonna help hydrate my skin as well as set my makeup. And it smells like heaven and it's so refreshing. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you all enjoyed it and maybe learned something new. If you would like to see more, don't forget to like, favorite, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you all in the next one.